does it feel to watch your students grow up through orchestra?
Well, it's an amazing thing. There's nothing like it, and I know that I'm blessed to be one of very few teachers who gets to watch their students grow up. And so I get really attached, as you guys all know, and getting a little choked up even thinking about the opportunity I have to watch you guys grow up. So it feels amazing. It's a blessing, it's a gift, and it's probably my favorite thing about my job.
Why is orchestra so important?
I believe all the arts are important, but for me, orchestra is probably the most important, at least to me, because music's important. It's essential for students to be able to learn how to express themselves, their emotional selves, and all of the arts enable students to do that. But I really love the orchestra experience because it encompasses so much of the brain work. So there's the analytical part of it where you have to know how to read notes and interpret the symbols and work toward the precision that orchestra requires. But there's also that creative side where you really get to express what's in your heart and in your soul musically. And not everybody feels that they can sing, not everybody's comfortable singing, so doing that on an instrument is, I just think it's really joyful for a lot of students, and it's fulfilling for a lot of students, and it really ties together the intellect and the heart. And I think, I'm probably biased, but I think orchestra does that more than the other arts allow us to do. Yeah, that's an interesting trick because every grade level is really different. So I know for me, and I think this works, with the beginners I try to keep it fun, I try to keep it interesting. I want to encourage them to be serious about it, and I want to be somewhat demanding, but I have to try to be careful not to be too demanding because I don't want to scare them away. Middle school's tough. I don't think it's my best area for teaching because in middle school the kids are different. They're going to try to push the envelope. They're going to try to get out of doing things as much as they can. Many of them, not all of them. So middle school is where I'm my sternest, my most strict self, and maybe the most demanding because I want to make sure that they're ready to play in high school. So I worry about losing kids in middle school, so I often tell them, if you can get through this and get to high school, you will love it again. And then once they get to high school, it's nice now that we have the two separate groups. We have the 8th and 9th group, which is kind of almost a training ground now to get ready for the 10 to 12. The 10 to 12 group for me is where it's really everything comes together, where you finally have the skills to do music that you think is cool and fun. And so it's, I think, a very joyful experience in the 10 to 12 orchestra. Ultimately, though, my goal for every student who graduates from our program is to be able to play either in their high school orchestra, their college orchestra or their community orchestra. I always have that in mind, that skill level that I want them to be at by the time they graduate. And I have to be thinking about that as early as 4th grade to make sure that we're plodding through the steps. So, in a nutshell, I try to start with joy in the beginning, I try to end with joy, but there's definitely some tough years in between. Those tween years, just like anybody growing up, can be a little tricky.